Thousands of migrant workers flocked to Anand Vihar interstate bus terminal in a hope to get a bus to their native places in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. Now, amid the nationwide lockdown and no rail services, thousands walked to the bus terminus and stood in a long queue waiting for buses for their native place. Now, these are the visuals from Anand Vihar bus terminal at a time when the country is facing a nightmarish battle against COVID-19 and the state and the central governments have advised for social distancing. Thousands have flocked the Anand Vihar bus terminals in a hope to get a bus to their native places in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and so on. Now, these are the visuals from Anand Vihar bus terminal. Thousands of people are waiting for a bus. At the Anand Vihar bus terminal, the mass evacuation of thousands of daily wage laborers and migrant workers is currently underway. Over the last 5 days, the national lockdown imposed to tackle COVID-19 has left a multitude of workers stranded with nowhere to go. And after days of dithering by the centre and the Delhi and Uttar Pradesh state governments, an evacuation plan is finally being implemented. Now let's take a look at what some of the immigrants had to say about this.
2 दिन के चले हुए हैं। बच्चा साथ में हमारे लिए परेशानी है, छोटा बच्चा, खाने कुछ नहीं।
कहाँ जा रहे हैं?
हम इन बदायूं में जाएंगे, पैदल ही चल पड़े हम।
मैं बिहार सरकार से यह निवेदन करता हूँ कि कोई बस सेवा चालू किया जाए यहाँ से। यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा भीड़ है, ताकि हम लोग बिहार अपने घर तक पहुँच सके किसी तरह से। भूखे प्यासे 3 दिन से हम लोग यहाँ पे पड़े हुए आनंद विहार में, तो इसलिए मेरा आग्रह है नीतीश कुमार से कोई सेवा चालू करे हुए। सर, हम यहाँ पे दिहाड़ी मजदूरी करते थे, काम बंद हो गया हम लोगों का। अब खाने के लिए भी पैसे नहीं है और पॉकेट में 100-200 रुपये पड़े हुए। अभी कैसे गाँव पहुँचेंगे, ये भी मुश्किल की बात है। सर, मालिक तो काम बंद हुआ, मालिक अपने घर पहुँचे, हम लोग अपने रूम में पड़े हुए रह गए। अब उसको बोल रहे, कह रहा कि कैशियर मेरा नहीं है, कैसे पैसे डालेंगे। और कैशियर भी अपना गाँव जा रखा है, और जैसे भी होता है तुम लोग किसी तरह गांव पहुंचो, जो भी पैसे निकलेगा तुम लोगों को बाद में हम भेज देंगे। अभी पैसे पुसे नहीं दिया हुआ और हम लोग अभी खाली घर जा रहे हैं।
यहाँ काफ़ी भीड़ जमा हो गई है बस अड्डे पे। इनको समझाया जा रहा है और ये अनाउंसमेंट, पब्लिक अनाउंसमेंट सिस्टम के थ्रू भी इनको हिदायतें दी जा रही हैं, तो लोग अभी थोड़ा चीज़ों को समझ रहे हैं और मान रहे हैं।
Well, these are the visuals that we are getting to witness from Anand Vihar bus terminal. Now, for more details on this, I'm being joined in by my colleague Adarsh. So, Adarsh, now the COVID-19 situation in India is worsening, and the ones affected is not the middle class or the elite, but the daily wage workers. Now, for 3 days, these daily wage workers haven't had food or money to even buy food. So now they are planning to move to their native places, and you can see a lot of people have gathered here. And how lethal is this situation in Anand Vihar, Adarsh?
Well, Deepak, the visuals really speak volumes about what's really transpiring in the national capital. Anand Vihar bus terminal happens to be one of those areas which is somewhere in the border areas of the national capital. It is in the outskirts, and it usually never is this crowded. It is so crowded at this point in time because you had the UP government somewhere down the line go ahead and say that about 1,000 buses would be ferrying all of the migrant laborers would in fact move from Uttar Pradesh and surrounding areas to the national capital to really carry out their work, in most of them in construction companies. So after that was said by the UP government, you've seen this huge influx of people really rushing to Anand Vihar bus stand to really catch that bus and go home. Now, after this lockdown has been imposed across the country, it is the migrant workers that are really facing the brunt of the situation. We've seen back home in Karnataka as well as to how several people left with pretty much nothing are having to walk for kilometers together, hundreds of kilometers together, to really reach their destination, to really reach their natives. And something very similar is taking place in the national capital as well. But the magnitude of it is something that is shocking. It is appalling, to say the least. One only hopes that the Prime Minister is watching this, and also the Delhi Chief Minister is keeping a close eye on the situation that is panning out. All of this seems to be somewhere down the line because of a few miscalculated statements that may have been made by the government sitting in Uttar Pradesh, which has come out and said that several buses will be made available for all these migrant laborers so that they can catch their ride home. So it is after that you have a situation like this. And yes, what you were mentioning as to how this is a dangerous situation in itself. Social distancing is obviously something that is history, at least in Anand Vihar bus terminal at this point in time. It is almost as if it's a mini epicenter of sorts, with thousands of people really gathering at one spot. Now, we cannot really say as to where these people went, the number of people they might have come in contact with, and the kind of situations that they have lived under. So we cannot really say what can happen going forward, but in a lockdown situation, this is something that is absolutely unexpected, Deepak.